Proceed to the dais.
इससे पहले if you look at the context of traditional communities, whether it's in all over the world, whether it's in the Northeast, whether it's in Arunachal, we see that we have a very rich heritage of oral narratives and storytelling. Whether it be the myths that we have, the stories of origin, folklore, folk songs, even lullabies. So we have a very rich tradition of either in most communities in the Northeast orally, or in some communities even textual storytelling has been something that has been around for centuries, like we love to say in Arunachal, since time immemorial. You know, that's a word we use all the time. But in the interim, a lot of things have happened, and if we look at especially the context of the Northeast, we have moved from oral storytelling to newer forms of storytelling. If you remember, if you can think of, say, folk songs, we have moved to poetry, we have moved to written poetry, we have moved to poetry being written in English and in Hindi, languages which are not traditionally to our area. If you look at songs, we have seen Arunachali, what we call Arunachali pop today, has moved from the folk songs, we have moved to popular songs, which on the template of the popular Hindi film songs or English songs, and that has been, and even now today we have Arunachal Cypher. I don't know if you all have listened to that, you must. You know, so we've moved on to rap and other art forms. We have had prose move from stories around fireplaces to novels being written, and we have so many of the writers here also. And then we have film, which has emerged, film and music video. And what better way to discuss all this than three people from three diverse backgrounds. One is a poet who's also published an amazing series of comic books, which I've just this morning had the chance to read. Achitake Khano has been working on this since, again, like we say, time immemorial, and I've had the opportunity and the privilege to work with him when there was a movement to get the World Heritage Site for the Apatani cultural landscape. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, but that was a big learning experience. And we have Samudra, who's delving into different art forms. He writes, he delves into animation, he's making music videos. So what we'd like to do is I'll start by asking each one of them about their engagement into these art forms, and then go on to look at how things have changed, what are the challenges, and I hope to do that in the stipulated 1 hour exactly. So thank you so much for listening, and I think I'll start with Achi, you. In your work that you have done, you know, and we have seen the shift from the oral to the textual to visual art forms which are new. What has been your engagement in this? Your own community and how that finds reflection.
Thank you very much. I don't know, I really do fit in this space with these wonderful personalities, but I'll try to explain. I write cultural criticism I have a column in Doinik Osam, that is a newspaper journal, in every alternate Sunday. It's called Peku Peku, Look, See. There actually I had 4 or 5 articles based on the necessity and need of archiving things. because in Assam and Northeast actually we don't preserve things, and because of the environment and climate also, many things actually does not sustain for a longer period of time. So why it is important about that? During the time of COVID, actually I compiled all the articles and I circulated online for free for everyone, particularly for the students of our colleges. That is one thing I did. And I'm not archivist myself, but what I do, I try to push certain things, particularly critical thinking about the methodological approach of archiving. Because archiving is good, definitely, it is necessary, but how you are doing it, and why you are doing it, for whom you are doing it, these questions are more necessary for that. And now I'll jump to one other field, that is theater. In 2015, I did a production at Kala Ghora in Mumbai. The theater was called as Disposable Woman. The term is little dicey in that way. Why disposable woman? That's a critical thing. I picked up three characters from three different categories. One is folklore. From folklore, I picked up Tezimola, who dies again and again and gets rebirth and dies again. That kind of story is there. And one from mythology, that is Chitralekha, Usha Anuruddha's story. There is a character called Chitralekha. And the third one is Joymoti, it's from history. So history, folklore, and mythology. So it is kind of my engagement that we have to rethink the method of history writing, the method of folklore compilation, because there are some kind of ideological concerns that govern the entire project always. So we have to, it is a kind of meta, you can say, or you can say some kind of post-structuralist temperament to question every next thing. Some things are very deliberate, so let's question it, and what kind of answers we get from out of it. So that is one kind of engagement I have.
But having the outcome and the impact, even if it's for say 10,000 people, you have that impact.
Yeah, just to follow on from what Vinod was saying, a lot of both Radhika and I used to work for NGOs. We worked in the environment sector. That's the kind of area that we overlapped and how we met. And so a lot of our early shows, we continue to work for non-profits and philanthropic organizations and produce.
Sona Saab has stayed for 3 panel discussions. So I think there's still hope for long form stories and discussions. So if our good ministers are able to sit through 3 sessions, of course he took a break, but I think we should be happy. A round of applause for our chief guest again. Thank you, sir. So now I'll open it up for questions, although I have many more questions myself. If you don't ask questions, I'll be happy because I can ask questions. If you have questions, now please raise your hand and ask.
And everything that you do, they were all yellow. Looks like you guys are not enjoying it at all. Not enjoying, nah? I think this is the last song, nah? We'll go home. You guys are not enjoying it. Nah? Some of you are still covering yourselves up like this. Huh? Next song.
Hoy pare hoy ma! Hoy pa hoy pa! Hoy pare hoy ma! Hoy pa hoy pa! Hoy pare hoy ma! Hoy pa hoy pa!
बढ़िया बढ़िया